if you have a conflict with the Dalai Lama. Um, Dalai Lama.
Who has a conflict with the Dalai Lama? And why?
Just imagine.
See, that's look at what I just did. That's insane. Getting so involved.
Imagine you have a conflict with the Dalai Lama. Oh, the Dalai Lama didn't say thank you for me bringing tea. And the Dalai Lama wouldn't think that. He wouldn't think that. He would say, he would smile at you and then just take the tea, and the next day it's like nothing happened. And it's not like nothing happened. Mm-hmm. It's basically that. To him, it's a normal day. So you carry your own peace. You carry your own happiness. No one gives it to you. Yeah. And when someone says to you, you don't care, you are carrying the not caring for the other person. You are not the other person. The other person have a different way to communicate. They have a different way to understand. And a lot of the times we just, instead of like trying to impose the way we communicate, the way we talk, we need to understand the other person way of communication. Mm-hmm. And there's a book called The 5 Languages of Love. Google it. I kind of like that book because it teaches us that based on our social conditioning, people tell you I love you in a different way. Some people tell you constantly, I love you, I love you, I love you. Some other people are just giving you presents. Some other people are constantly telling you, oh my God, you did great, you did good, you did. And other people are constantly touching you. And at some point, I do validate these ways of communication. And a lot of the times, if you decide to go with someone that you think they don't care, my question is, why are you there? If that's not the way the other person, first of all, I mean, you want try to control another person.
People need reassurance, but
yes, but
that's mine. That's from it's them. It's
but that's your attachment. Like if you're constantly with someone that doesn't show you that they care, and you're like, why don't you care? It's like, why are you there?
It doesn't mean that they do or do not care. But if you're feeling that way, then what are you doing around that person?
To me, the question is like, why do you care to stay in that relationship?
Why not ask them instead? Do you care?
Correct.
I'm feeling like you don't care. Do you care?
And if they tell you, what if they tell you, I do care enough. I'm just not as expressive, or I'm not what your Polaroid picture of me. I'm not that Polaroid picture. I am my own.
That's a different love language necessarily, though, at the same time.
Would you believe it?
It could be true, it could not. Who knows? I mean...
But would you believe it?
I don't know. It depends. I don't know if we're going in a direction of something we should even be posting at this point. Like, what is it?
I think that if you
are we helping people with this discussion?
Well, I think we're helping because if you want a specific person to be the way you want them to be,
well, you can't change
girl, boy, you're wrong.
You can't change people.
You need to walk away from that person.
It seems a little off topic. I mean,
it is completely.
I was more talking about beside the caring. Like I've had that experience. The reason I brought it up in general was that when I was really deep into meditation and everything else, I was very peaceful and I was just there existing, being aware and present. And at this party, everyone else kind of like looks at me and they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? You're not acting the same way. You're not getting all involved in everything. Like, there's suddenly something wrong with me, but I'm here like, I've never felt so peaceful in my life. Everything's perfect and amazing.
You know what was wrong?
That I wasn't reactive, I think, is what I was wrong.
No. She has taken a Polaroid of who you're supposed to be based on social programming. And the moment it didn't click in her Polaroid, you were someone that she had not predicted you're supposed to be. And that's the problem. A lot of the times we predict that people are supposed to be a certain way. Yeah. And whether or not, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, well, it brought up two things in the break. That we took was that, number one, you're going to have that if you are on a spiritual path. You're going to have people that don't get it and they don't understand your change and anything else like that. Part of why I want to have this discussion is to say it's okay. It's okay for you to get to this place. And that doesn't mean that you're in a cult or that you're being brainwashed or anything like that. It's just you're becoming into this different, more peaceful person. And hopefully we can help them to understand through this discussion. The second thing was that we talked about the hardest part of having a spiritual life is that very soon after having it, you have to realize that you can't share it with 90% of people. And you cannot show them or share the love, the beauty, everything that you're discovering. You can't enlighten anyone. You can't show them how great it is and everything like that. And it's not that you aren't able to tell them. It's that you aren't able to show them. And from where they are, they get angry, they get reactive, they get frustrated, and they don't understand. And that, as someone who wants to be peaceful and loving and share that like amazing feeling you're feeling with everyone, it's hard because you want to be able to do that and you can't. So over time for me, you can sometimes find places, Facebook groups and temples and places where there are other people that you can talk about it to. And at that time, a lot of the time you are preaching to the choir. But at the same time, sometimes you'll be waiting in line for a coffee or something, and you'll talk to a complete stranger about the deepest things that you never thought you could ever tell anyone.
And they understand it.
And they understand it completely.
And maybe because your level of awareness brought them to that level of awareness, at least for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, so if you're in this path, don't try to convince anyone else that they're wrong or try to show them your way or anything like that. And if they are on their on their own thing, that's great. That's their path and they're on it, and it's awesome. But they don't need to be doing what you're doing or feeling what you're feeling. And you don't need to change either. And that's okay.
Don't try to impose also the people that are telling you don't care, to impose your awareness or understanding.
Yeah. Don't let go of your peace and that happiness that you're having in that state of mind.
Because the right people will come.
The right people will come. And you don't even have to stop being around other people. If they're family members and everything else, they're going to be in your life, yes. But ideally, you'll be able to have something like this, or video, or some way to be able to describe to them what you're feeling. And hopefully help them to not be so reactive and involved and want so much out of everybody else.
Because I have seen that. I have seen...
I'm not saying that they can't change. I'm saying that they don't know that there's a possibility or anything like that. But trying to tell them a lot of time, you're usually opposing. You're not actually sharing, unfortunately.
I have seen what I call Facebook spiritual people. And I have seen what I have called Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra spiritual people where they come and they're like, no, don't say that because the universe is listening to you. And they think that people that are completely taken by studies, because this is what you're doing. You're not enlightened. I'm sorry if you thought you were. You're not. This is a process.
If you think you're enlightened, then you're definitely not enlightened.
I mean, like, first of all, if you feel like you're so spiritual and you're watching videos, come on, you're not. There is a level where a lot of gurus and teachers tell you, and I'm telling you as a practitioner for the last 8 years of my life, that sometimes you have to play with your ego. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to wear like a little Star Wars t-shirt, or sometimes you have to change your haircut. And you will know of several monks that, because we went through that.
Yes.
You shave off your hair, and I did too. And we're like, and then suddenly we realize people cannot relate to that. And when you present yourself that way, people, they either get scared, they think you're fucked up in the head. Yeah. And they just run away.
Well, awareness and peace in general is not bringing that to somebody, bringing them anything. You're just being peaceful and being in a state of awareness, and you're not necessarily bringing at all.
No.
You're just there with them, and like that presence of being there.
And there's an energy.
Is what's so great.
And there's an energy that it's no longer subtracted from you. It's an energy that you are putting out there, and people feel energized by
it'll be calming, it'll be great. That'll be amazing. But I think the bottom line is, don't be so involved with it. As far as when you first get all this stuff, your mind thinks it's higher than other people. It wants to be better, and it has this thing that it's like got this new thing it wants to share and shove on people.
And that's actually ego.
It's complete ego. And when you get into deeper, longer practice, you stop bringing and you stop caring and bringing and thinking and whatever else, and you just exist. And when you're with people, it's great, and when you're not, it's great, and everything that's happening becomes peaceful and loving and amazing. And
it's just great all the time.
It's a state of mind, yeah, and it's a state of being in that awareness and that being and that peace. It's just so great, I know. And we need to talk about stuff in our next video. That might have been our delivery, so I'm going to check on that. But we need to talk about stuff.